Oh, hello there. It's Fred from Red Chair Reviews. Welcome to my listening room. It's time to listen to a new album from a band that I love. Maybe you love them too. That's right. It's time for the Bay Area legends Green Day and their new album, Saviors. Got this plastic cover thing that doesn't seem to, I don't think I like that. It's cool, but I don't think I'm gonna put it on the record. Either way, here it is, their 14th record. 14th full length, came out just today. So I've heard it because I went to a listening party, checked out some tracks online as well. But here we go, I'm gonna sit down, listen to it, and give you my reactions, raw reactions for every track on the record, and at the end tell you what I think overall. And maybe you can gain some knowledge and decide if you agree with me. Maybe you feel the same about the record, maybe you don't. So here we go, Green Day Saviors, let's do it. The album opens with a song called The American Dream Is Killing Me. A little bit of a political statement from Green Day. I've always felt their political statements to be a little marginal. I don't find that their lyrics are always directly going towards their political statement. It's just kind of like that punk rebellion, but it doesn't always have a message that really steers clear or that stirs one loudly and clearly to make an actual revolution. This song's got that Irish kind of 4/4 drinking song vibe. I like it. It's a nice opener. It kind of starts the album off with some good energy. I've heard this track as a single, and it's still pretty good. A good starter, I think, for this here, their 14th album, Saviors. The second song is the Look Ma, I Ain't Got No Brains. It's the Taco Bell song. I saw this on a Taco Bell commercial. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this, but they got paid. And I gotta say, the song's cool. Also, once again, upbeat. Nothing really going on majorly here lyrically. I like the bridge. And it's very brief, but I enjoy this track. The first two songs in this album I think start off very strongly, if I do say so myself. So far, 2 for 2 on tracks I enjoy, kicking off Saviors here. Third track is called Bobby Socks. They just released a music video for this song today, I believe, which I haven't checked out yet. I like this song quite a bit, actually. At the listening party, I remember this third track was the one that I hadn't really heard yet. And I was kind of like, this is cool, I dig this. The vocal layering is really neat, the bridge is solid again. He's got a lot of solid bridges on this album from what I can tell as well. The band sounds very tight. It's very strange to me because as I looked around the record release party, there was a bunch of like 21-year-olds there and 22-year-olds there. And as a 46-year-old, that blew my mind because it's like these guys are still relevant to young people, like just barely out of their teens, sometimes even in their teens. Still listen to this, and I think the lyrics are kind of a reason for that. Billy Joe here is singing about, do you want to be my girlfriend? Do you want to be my boyfriend? He's over 50 years old. So I think his lyrics still are kind of sophomoric, but that's what keeps the young crowd connected. That's why you see parents bringing their kids and grandparents who brought their kids are now bringing their grandkids. This band has stayed relevant for several decades now, 3 decades. And they've done it because, over 3 decades, and they've done it because he's willing to write lyrics that still connect to his listener. He's happily married and kids and everything, but he still writes these songs that connect to young listeners, and I really appreciate that about him. So Bobby Socks is a cool tune that I think many generations can connect to. And I'm gonna go check out that music video as well and see if it's any good. One-Eyed Bastard is the 4th track. It kind of sounds like some fare you might hear on Warning. It's got that, once again, that kind of sing-songy thing. It even has an Ayo thing in there, which I know the stadium's going to sing along with when they play this live. He always writes a good Ayo stadium anthem. He loves the crowd sing-along. But this song is neat, although I don't think this song sticks with your mind as much as the first 3 do. After listening to the record, I wasn't finding myself singing this track, and once I wasn't too impressed with it at the listening party. It's a good song, and it's got a kind of a Warning vibe, and I love Warning. But I think this song is middle of the road for me. The 5th track, Dilemma, the I Was Sober, Now I'm Drunk Again, very catchy, melodic. It sticks with you, which I really think is awesome. It's just kind of like a song about alienation and maybe like leaning into substances to get away from feeling alienated, feeling dead beyond your lifetime. This is aimed at a very prolific point. But the song itself is super catchy. I think Dilemma is one of the stronger tracks here near the beginning of the record. So kudos to Green Day for this track. 1981, She's a Cold War in My Head and I Am East Berlin. I don't know, Billy. I don't know about that one. Either way, once again, when I was listening, like the listening party, singing along and jamming out to "She's Gonna Bang Her Head Like 1981." Like none of these people were alive in 1981. But it's still catchy enough. I like after he sings, the second time he sings "She's Gonna Bang Her Like 1981," there's like a background vocal that he does. It's really cool, like a filler there. I think he just does it on the second time, and the second time through of every chorus he does it. Chorus is solid, bridge is very catchy, and the band is just churning along here. So far, a pretty impressive return to form here for the band. I haven't enjoyed the last few releases, but this is pretty solid. I'm digging this. Ooh, the end of 1981 is pretty solid too. The intonation, the change of direction, slight key change there. Like that a lot. Goodnight Adeline is kind of more of a ballad, more steady mid-paced, lower mid-paced tempo song. The lyrics are kind of generic for this track. I don't mind it, but this isn't once again a standout for me. This is kind of like with the One-Eyed Bastard track. It's okay. One-Eyed Bastard is a little more driving than this, but they're both kind of like, these songs are okay. I like the guitar solo actually quite a bit on this song. This is probably the first guitar solo that kind of like, ooh, this is unique. I like what he's doing here. But this song, Goodnight Adeline, I'm kind of lukewarm on. Nice parallel key change at the end of Goodnight Adeline. I know my buddy Noel loves a good parallel key change. Classic 80s pop songwriting trick, performed and perfected by people like Whitney Houston and stuff. Great, I love that they do it here, it's awesome. And just like that, it's the end of side one. How did that happen? Starting side two with Coma City, an upbeat track, not one that stands out to me in particular, but catchy enough. That's kind of what they do well, even when they don't deliver on songs, they still deliver a song that's, enjoyable and passable. Very rarely do they deliver something that's, terrible and you can't stand listening to. There was one song on Revolution Radio, Youngblood. I hated that song. I still hate that song. No Youngblood. So this is definitely way better than Youngblood. Coma City's cool. I don't know exactly what he's doing with the lyrics here. Talk about guns and cops quitting their jobs, if you call them. But it's standard fare. Once again, not a bad track. Not a super strong start to side two. And when I went and heard the listening party play there, I thought that the first half of the album sounded to me, on first listen, stronger than the second. So maybe if I give it this listen here, maybe I'll feel differently. I remember Corvette Summer now distinctly because I thought the song sounded like the start of like a Cars song or like Rick Springfield, something from the 80s. That's not a bad thing. Everything now in rock is referential. There's only so many notes you got to work with, so everything is going to sound kind of like something else. But man, the beginning of the song sounded like a Rick Springfield track. Not a specific one, just a Rick Springfield track or a Cars song. But it is really cool. It is catchy. He's dropping some F-bombs and stuff in this track. This is the swearing punk song, but it's about a Corvette. It's an interesting paradox here, but the riff is catchy and it does sound like the 80s arena rock kind of thing that was going on there for a while. I dig that. I don't know if all punk rock fans are gonna dig that. Mad cowbell in Corvette Summer, just so much cowbell. I'm telling you, fellas, you're gonna want that cowbell on the track. This song is such an 80s rock tune. Cowbell is it's sing along. It's really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's in my head. I don't know how the entire Green Day fan base is gonna feel about it, but man, it is. Corvette Summer is catchy. Susie Chapstick, I'm kind of looking at the lyrics here. It's kind of a lilting love ballad. It's an upbeat. It's not like a slow ballad. It's got a nice tempo to it, but it's kind of like talking about love and innocence in the past. It seems like maybe that innocence is lost and found. But looking back on positive memories, I like this tune. It's pretty good. It's kind of sentimental. You can tell there's some heartfelt writing and composition going on here. And the vocal hooks of the verse really blend naturally into the chorus, and it's memorable. So Susie Chapstick gets a thumbs up. Yeah, the middle of Susie Chapstick's with a bum 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 bum. It doesn't do it for me. The rest of the track, solid. Don't like the middle part too much. Solos there. Not much to write home about. I still like the track, but the middle part of the song's a little middling to me. Middle road, middle ground. Yeah, I'm just not sure about the bass. Not sure about that part in there in Susie Chapstick. I don't know. And they end with it too. Hey, listen to these lyrics though from the next song, Strange Days Are Here to Stay. Strange days are here to stay. Ever since Bowie died, I've said that multiple times on my own pages. Bowie dying in 2016 and then Prince, it was like, I mean, everything went downhill. I agree with that. Well done, Billy Joe. I agree with you on there. It has been the same. All the madmen going mental. Grandma's on the fentanyl now. Man, Grandma, you gotta pump the brakes on the fentanyl. Bruh, strange days are here to stay. Really feeling the Bowie lyric. Not feeling the Grandma fentanyl line so much. Grandma gotta keep herself away from the fentanyl, okay? How's she gonna enjoy Green Day's next album if she ODs on the fentanyl? Relax, Grandma. Dude, Living in the 20s. Okay, so Strange Days was okay. I like that track. Living in the 20s starts with a riff that you literally sing Jenny, H67539, sing it right over top of it. Jenny, who can I turn to? It's the same. It's the same. I mean, it is the same as that song, the beginning is. It is the chords, everything. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Billy, what are you doing to this robot? I'm confused here. Living in the 20s is leaving me a little bit lost. It's okay, but man, I can't get past the Jenny, who can I turn to, singing it. As soon as the guitar kicks in at the beginning and in the middle, I'm like, that is in my head, that's it. It's derivative, but it's. Jenny, who can I turn to? Yeah, it's the same. Slight key change for the solo. The solos in the second half aren't really doing much for me though, to be honest with you. Yeah, the theme of living in the 20s and how things are kind of a mess now. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I don't know, just doing it to what keeps reminding me of Jenny. It's not, just stick with the numbers on the bathroom wall, bruh. Okay, the last couple tracks then, not feeling it, but Father to a Son, nice ballad. It's got some nice reflective lyrics here, just a connection to your son, having expectations for your child, hoping they do better than you. I think this is it's not Shakespearean excellence, but it is a nice sentiment and a well-written lyric, and a catchy tune also. Pretty well performed, kind of kicks in with some drums there about halfway through, some kind of string work going on in the back. Props on this song. This is good. It's a nice palate cleanser out to the last two that were okay, but didn't leave me floored. This one's pretty solid for a ballad. So did they Photoshop the Polaroid, or did they take an actual Polaroid? I'm betting that they had someone do Photoshop and made a picture that they took with a digital camera look like a Polaroid. I bet they didn't take a Polaroid and just lay it on a table and take a picture of the Polaroid. I bet that's my guess. What do you guys think? I'm telling you. Some solid guitar work here about 3/4 the way through Father to a Son too. This is a very kind of more epic ballad. This is getting closer to the 3.5 to 4 minute mark. If I had to guess, probably closer to the 4 minute mark. This is a nice song though. I really appreciate this one. One of the stronger tracks in the second half for sure. Epic ending too. The strings and the guitar and it's nice. Kind of crunchy guitars with a kind of orchestral vibe. Nice. Solid drum work by Trey. Trey Cool is always drumming perfection all the time. I don't know how the dude's gonna play through Dookie and through American Idiot and more songs on this album on the next tour, because dude's gonna be going crazy. But I appreciate all three players. But as a drummer, Trey Cool for me really hits the mark every album, every time. The title track is here, Saviors. You ever have an album where you're like, why did they pick this as the title track? What made this song for them go, Saviors? That sounds, and they put it with the edited kind of photo of the Revolutionary from the late 60s, I believe. But they gave him a smile, Photoshop, just like the picture we talked about. More Photoshop, watch out. But this song to me is average. I don't know why this is the title track. Is it the sentiment? Do they think it connects to all the other songs? I don't see that. So I'm a little confused why Saviors is the title track, because if I had to rank these songs, Saviors would not be near the top. I'm just kind of curious why the band chose this as their title track when it's just okay. The last song is called Fancy Sauce. I like this song. I remember this was what we heard, the last song we heard at the release party before we all pre-ordered and kind of checked it out, the Record Connection there. Now's out. Shout out to my boy Jeff at the Record Connection. Love that record store. He held the listening party here for Northeast Ohio, and it was rad. This song came on and I really enjoyed this song. He's singing about falling like a yo-yo. I don't always love yo-yo references and lyrics. I don't know why, it just never works for me. I'm like, yeah, he rhymes, hear me out. He rhymes famous with famous with famous, and then goes to contagious. I don't love that rhyme scheme at all, Billy. I'm not feeling that. At least it's better than like some modern musicians who just go, yeah, at the end of some lines and they rhyme yeah 4 times. So it doesn't matter what they write in the lines. I don't like that either. Better than that, but I don't like rhyming famous with famous with famous. I don't like that. You could have done something different with that. But the track is cool. I enjoy it. It's a good album closer as well. So props for Fancy Sauce. Final thoughts on the record. I think the first half of the record is stronger than the second half. The second half feels pretty derivative of older material to me. It just doesn't feel as inspired. But the guitar solos, I think, are also stronger on some of the songs from the first half of the record than the second. They do kind of snag me back there with the last track there. And I started out just liking Corvette Summer, and then by the end of Corvette Summer, I liked Corvette Summer again. I don't know how I feel about that particular track. So, but as a teacher, I got to give the 100-point grading scale. And if I'm giving this album a rating on the 100-point scale, I'm going to give it an 89 out of 100. I'm going to give it a high B, B+. A-, B+. I think this is a nice return to form for the band. They sound inspired. Father of All was, I have no idea what that record was. It's my least favorite Green Day record of all time. And I just feel like the band has not really hit their stride. The Uno, Dos, Tres thing kind of threw them off for a while. They just haven't really quite found their footing. Revolution Radio had some cool tracks, but I think this is closer to what the band wants to do musically. I think it's a really, really good record. I don't know if it's going to be in my top 10 at the end of the year or anything like that, but I really enjoy it. And if I want to hear a Green Day album, I could put this on. And so is it going to rank number 1 or 2 or 3 for me? Probably not, but I can see it in the 4 or 5 range. As my wife said, the Green Day machine is running again right now. They're playing in subway stations and things like that. It's just good to see the band going on tour with Smashing Pumpkins and just being out again, pushing for something. I feel like Father of All didn't have, I know I had the Hella Mega tour, but it didn't have that. They didn't play a lot of tracks off that album. They didn't feel like they really were proud of that record. I think this is a record they can be proud of. So 89 out of 100. A B+, A-. Nice job for Saviors. And if you don't agree, tell me why. Comment. Please interact, follow, share this with other people, and let me know what you think. Because if you feel differently, that's cool, because this is just like my opinion, man.